Hello! This is take one of me talking about the new agent WAYLAY. I'm here joined with my Twitch and YouTube chat. This is the first time we've recorded this. Don't worry. We're just going to very simply go through the new agent and give my opinions on some of the new abilities. So this is the first ability, the signature Refract. Instantly create a beacon of light on the floor. Reactivate to speed back to your beacon as a mote of pure light. You are invulnerable as you travel. So let's take a look at this then. Make sure that I don't kill people with sound. This is what it looks like. So you put down the little thing. See there in main. And whoop! Back we go. We go back. And we get that kill. Right? So this I would call this a mix of a jet dash in terms of, you know, this. Like, you know, you have to activate it and then press it again to go back, so it's kind of jet dash like it. We found out this is 8 seconds that you get in terms of activating this thing, and think of it like a mix of a jet dash and a chamber TP essentially, right? Combine those two abilities together and you basically get this, right? So that's how to think about the ability in general. And you know, that's pretty strong, right? We know that like jet dash, chamber TP, those kind of abilities are pretty good, both for attack and defense, right? Both in terms of like entering in onto a site, you know, being able to protect yourself, being able to run, you know, fakes and stuff and survive, being able to, you know, get out is perfectly fine. And then also, of course, for defense side, this is going to be a good defensive side ability, right? There is no way around that, right? Like flip the sides and imagine that you're, you know, putting it on this side of main and aggro peeking into B main to try and take a fight and then TP out. Now, if you're wondering on the time of this, like when you activate it, how does it go? The time on this we learned is similar to a chamber TP, right? So there is a brief window where you can die. You know, if you've played chamber, you'll know like sometimes you do press the E, but then, you know, they just kill you before. That is apparently the same for this ability as well. So, I mean, to start off with, seems like, you know, a pretty strong signature. Okay, ability number 2 is light speed. So, equip to prepare for a burst of speed, fire a dash forward twice. Alt fire to dash once. Only your first dash can send you upward. So that is what this one looks like. So we're going to... So you only get one charge of this. The abilities are all one charge. But you're going to see in a second. There's a trip there. We dash up and we dash in. So think, you know, again, like jet updraft plus dash. Right now, interestingly there, you saw that you can just dash once if you want to, right? If you don't want to dash twice, you can alt fire it, apparently, and only go for the one dash. But I think obviously most of the time you will want to go for the second dash. And, you know, updraft plus jet dash, yeah, pretty strong. I mean, you could even, I mean, thinking about it, what if you did play this agent with jet, right? And you just did your normal jet updraft dash onto this and you just have 2 players in there and you go double duelist and just go crazy. I think, again, obviously this is pretty good. Now, you can dash where you look, essentially, right? So that's where you're going to go. So you can dash up like this, but it doesn't have to go up. You can just dash straight twice, I'm pretty sure. Where does this agent rank in terms of opping ability, right? Defensive opping. Where does this agent rank? And I think it has to be pretty high, right? With the first ability, you essentially have a TP out. But even if you run out of that, you still have a secondary option here, right? Of like, it's not going to be perfect, this ability, for getting out all of the time. If the trade is fast enough, then you will die because you have to be going the way that you're looking. But that's still going to get you out of a decent amount of scenarios as well. So you essentially have 2 ways of potentially getting out. You have to place it down first, though. Like, because that means that, like, if you're opping, you have to place it down and then kind of run forward and take the fight, which is less good. I was just kind of thinking of it like a jet dash. So maybe it's not as good for opping. But anyway, I wanted to show you this of TenZ using those 2 abilities together just to show you some of the things that you can do on the attack side. So that is what you're looking at in terms of like entry for the team. Obviously, this is like a pretty insane use of those 2 abilities together, right? Where we've got our TP set up backwards, we double dash in, insta TP out. And that's the thing. I think you will use this a lot for entries where essentially you use both abilities together, right? So you put a TP out here, you double dash in, whether it goes well or not, right? Like, if you see someone that hasn't been hit by any of the util, you just nope out of there, right? And you just go, nope. But if you see that someone is like, you know, about to die and they're flashed, you know, and you can just get a free kill, then obviously you just stay in and kill them. This is where I think this agent, you know, really excels, is the comboing of those two abilities is going to be really quite strong. Okay, ability number 3 is Saturate. Instantly throw a cluster of light that explodes upon contact with the ground, hindering nearby players with a powerful movement and weapon slow. So hinder is a new keyword. It basically just means stun, but they don't have like the visual stun effect. But essentially everything else is the same. You know, they're slowed movement, they have slow, you know, bullet shooting, all of that. You know, it's essentially stun, but without the visual effect on like their actual screen. So you see, you throw the thing, creates a little nade, they get a little bubble around their head, they shoot slower, they move slower. So this has the trajectory of a phoenix, like phoenix type thing, right, where it will fall to the ground as well. So we saw later on in the show match, like if you throw it, it will drop down. So keep that in mind as well. This ability seems okay. I don't think it's gonna be like amazing. You know, it's okay. Having people be slow to shoot and can't move is pretty good, but you know, it's not like a crazy ability, but it's fine. And then finally we have the ult, which is Lightspeed. Equipped to focus your prismatic power, fire to create an afterimage of yourself that projects a beam of light. After a brief delay, you gain powerful speed boost and the beam expands, hindering other players in the area. So we're still using hinder, and you can see on the map here straight away, it, you know, you could see the area of the size of this and what it actually looks like. Again, it's going to hinder people, so like the breach ult. You see it's not quite as big as a breach ult or wide, or it's not quite as long as a fade ult. This is the thing that comes on the floor. It does take a bit of time to charge up, and also keep an eye on this now. Do you see on the map, it kind of like it's kind of sliced up. Kind of an interesting way of the ult working. So it kind of goes from in to out, kind of like, you know, you start off here and then it kind of goes woo woo. You see here we've got the Killjoy slowed down, can't move, dies. I'm not sure that, again, this is the greatest ult, but what you can do, again, of course, is use your own ult and then kind of light speed with it, right? So you would ult, then, you know, maybe we're waiting here for it to go off, and then, like, now you would maybe, I mean, here they just run up with it, but you could obviously also, like, you know, double dash into it, kind of thing, and, you know, really go and punish anyone yourself. It isn't an amazing ult, it's not awful, but it's also not amazing, I don't think. It's going to be harder to dodge if you are, like, in the middle here. It's an okay ult. It costs what? It costs 8. Yeah, the ult seems okay, the molly seems okay, but I think the real part of this agent's kit that's going to be, like, the strong part of it is the signature and kind of the double dash and how people manage to use that. Because there's going to be some crazy... With the double dash, you know, it's where you're looking. So there's going to be some crazy, like, you know, I'm going this way, then that way... you know, neon slide-esque type, you know, thing on your screen where it's not going to be super easy to track the whole time. So I guess that just leaves us with the idea of how good is this agent? How good is this agent on a scale of 1 to 10? We're seeing some 7s, some 8s. The general consensus here seems to be that it seems pretty good. And I think I would agree.